Good morning.
Good morning.
Well, I have just a brief report today. As Phil mentioned, the legislature is currently on summer recess, with the Assembly returning August 5th and the Senate returning August 12th. At that point, committee hearings will resume, and then floor sessions will be held in September, culminating in a September 14th deadline for bills to make it to the governor's desk. I wanted to provide you with an update on Senate Bill 735, which you know I've been closely following, by Senator Wolk on the topic of Delta Stewardship Council coordination with local Delta habitat conservation plans. The bill continues to move forward, and I expect to see new amendments in print in August. The trajectory of the bill remains generally the same. It would require the Council and the Department of Fish and Wildlife to develop MOUs with the 5 Delta entities who have or are currently preparing natural communities conservation plans or habitat conservation plans to ensure coordination amongst those plans and the Delta plan. Parties continue to meet and discuss details, and the bill is scheduled to be heard in the Assembly on August 13th. There's a third hearing in a series of informational hearings on the Bay Delta Conservation Plan, also scheduled for August 13th. 2 previous hearings were held in April and May of this year, and the focus of this hearing is Bay Delta Conservation Plan governance and finance, as proposed in their draft chapters that were released earlier this year. Presentations are expected at that hearing from the Legislative Analyst's Office and the Brown administration, although a final agenda has not yet been posted. Now, I wanted to back up a little bit and report on a few things that have happened since we last met in June. On July 2nd, following its regularly scheduled committee hearing, the Assembly Water Parks and Wildlife Committee hosted a presentation on the topic of a possibly revised 2014 water bond. The chair of that committee, Assembly Member Anthony Rendon, presented principles for developing a water bond. And this discussion was notable because it represented the first public meeting in which the Assembly has discussed a revised water bond in any sort of detail, although there weren't a lot of details. The principles really are intended to govern the conversation as it moves forward. The week after that hearing, we sent a letter addressed to Assemblymember Rendon and signed by our chair, expressing general support for the discussion and for the direction of the principles, and we offered our council and our council staff as a resource to the committee. The Assembly's Water Bond Working Group continues to meet with stakeholders, but no other formal hearings have been scheduled to my knowledge, and the Senate Natural Resources Committee has had a few water bond hearings this year in March and April, but they have nothing scheduled now. Tuesday, July 23rd of this week was a special election for Senate District 16, the seat which was vacated in February by Senator Marco Rubio. Results are still trickling in, but it looks like the GOP candidate and farmer Andy Vidak has edged out his competition, meaning that the power balance in the Senate shifts ever so slightly, but that the Democrats for now maintain their supermajority rule. Another Senate seat is still up for grabs, SD 32 down in Southern California, and a top 2 runoff will be held in September between candidates Paul Leon and Freddie Rodriguez. I'll end on a positive note on the state's finances. Based on revenue reports from the Department of Finance, California ended the 2012-2013 fiscal year approximately $2 billion in the black. So hopefully we've reversed the trend of the past few years of deficits. That's all I have for now, unless there's any questions.
Okay, questions of Ms. Pearson? Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.